Okay, this is the gasket set I'm using. Street Sport Industries. I think it said, yeah, silicon. And it was very economical. I could have spent a couple of $100, but it's $45.99 in the US. It costs $64.90 here, and $18.49 for postage. So that's what I'm dealing with getting parts here. It's a good deal more expensive. The Australian dollar is close to 60 cents to the US dollar. Try and get some more information. Okay, rear cylinder head 16684 87A. 16684 87A. That's the inlet, exhaust. These are all the same size, thank God. So again, like the earlier on in this video, again these supplied rubber gaskets for the pushrod cover won't fit. That's a new one there, and you can see, you know, there's no way that I can get that to go in there. That side's in, but then this side's out. When I push this side in, then the other side pops out, and it just jams. So that's a no-goer. And as you can see here, when I put the original one on, just sits straight in. That's my tool set there. I've got other tools there, nuts and bolts and washers, you know, electrical, small tools, drills, little bits and pieces, electrical connectors, top end rebuild stuff. Got all this spray cans, oils, that type of stuff. These head bolts had a fair amount of rust on them, so this is rust paint. I've just got a brush and put a couple of coats on the top, and just one thin coat on the bolt itself. Just spraying some cleaner lubricator into the threads, and I'll let that all drain out and dry a bit. There's no paint underneath the bolt, and I'm also putting a little bit of motor oil just underneath, just to help with the torquing down process and make sure there's no rust. So I'll just turn them down hand tight for now. Okay, front cylinder 16682 87A. 16682 87A. Okay, so at this point the barrels and heads are on. I've checked the covers, pushrod covers, and they're all seated properly. I know all the gaskets and where they've got to go. I've practiced installing the tappet covers and you know, the work that I've got to do ahead of me. So that's it for today. It's nearly 4 o'clock. Still got to pack up and do a couple of other jobs. And so next weekend I'll tighten them down. Okay, tightening down the heads. Okay, checking to see that we've got the heads round the right way. That's the front head. And there's the rear head. Okay, it's a couple of months after the previous clip. This work only ever gets done in any spare time I can, you know, that I'm lucky enough to find when there's nothing on the list and I'm doing up a house and everything. So on with the show. Okay, the tightening sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that says front cylinder head. It should say front of bike, and same there. We were looking at it that way, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and front of bike. Okay, this part of it's absolutely crucial, and I'm going to try and explain it the best I can. Okay, so first of all, my torque wrench has got foot-pounds. It's got foot-pounds, so I have to make absolutely sure that I adjust this for foot-pounds and not any other sort of measurement. Whatever you do, don't get foot-pounds mixed up for inch-pounds or anything else. Okay, the manual has inch-pounds and newton-meters, and then I'll give out the measurement for foot-pounds. Okay, the manual says, first of all, tighten the bolts to 84 to 108 inch-pounds or 9 to 12 newton-meters. And then tighten the bolts, the head bolts, to 144 to 168 inch-pounds or 16 to 19 newton-meters. And then it's quarter of a turn or 90 degrees. This information is from a well-known bike mechanic on YouTube. We've got 7 to 9 foot-pounds first, and then tighten the head bolts to 12 to 14 foot-pounds, and then a quarter of a turn or 90 degrees or 33.3 foot-pounds. Okay, so get out your magnifying glass or your reading glasses or whatever you have to do. Make sure exactly what measurement you've got on your torque wrench, and I see there I've got foot-pounds. So with foot-pounds, I'll go through this procedure here. So the first one will be 7 to 9, so I'll go 8 foot-pounds. I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I've got a a spray on lubricant, and I've sprayed around here in the lubricant hole and in the end here. If you tighten this up to the first sequence of 84 inch pounds, thinking that it's foot pounds, you're going to go up to your bike and you're going to smash, crack and completely destroy your bolts and threads. So make sure you're working with the right torque. Okay, we've got a 13mm socket. I'll just get them hand tight. Okay, so consult your own manual, but I'm going 8 foot-pounds. It's not much. Okay, 13 foot-pounds. I've only got one hand operating this torque wrench. Now it's a quarter of a turn or 90 degrees. So I make a mark on my bolt, mark on the head, and I turn it so that the two marks line up. I've also got my torque wrench at 33.3 foot-pounds. Okay, that's a quarter of a turn and it didn't click. So who knows, I could have kept on turning the bolt around. Okay, so whatever comes first is the quarter turn or the torque wrench. Okay, I've made a decision to line these marks up. Okay, we can see the two line-up marks there and there. Obviously this head won't be at the same torque settings, or the bolts won't be the same torque settings. So we'll see where 33.3 foot-pounds goes to. I'll just move that out of the way. That's in line and it hasn't clicked. Right, next. Okay, rear cylinder head, 8 foot-pounds. Okay, I'm going to tighten from this mark to this mark, and this mark around here to here. Okay, I've got it set for 33.3. We'll see if it clicks or not. Okay, well, I'll try the next one. Strange, I've just moved it and it clicked. I'll try turning it a bit more. Okay, what I've decided to do here is just to turn the head bolts until they meet up at 90 degrees. I believe that there will be different torque settings, but that's what the manual specifies. I can't really say that I'm all that confident with this type of technique. Okay, quarter of a turn. That's just about perfect there. The lines met up and it clicked at the same time. That's it there, and it's just a bit further past. When you go to get your line up points, the best way is to square it off to look on this side and directly on the other side where it'll line up, and then come around and get your mark square off that point. Okay, at this point we're new piston rings, reconditioned heads, valve seals, etc. Barrels, heads installed. So stay tuned.